Came fifth when the race was launched. How was that entire experience, and what are you looking to do slightly differently this year?
Well, yeah, I mean, last year was the inaugural event of the World Triathlon Series in Cape Town. A lot of my sponsors also got involved, which was a wonderful thing. And yeah, there's the fifth position last year was great, and I'm hoping on improving there and hopefully climbing on the podium this time.
Now, there definitely should be some interesting challenges coming from the likes of Henry Schoeman. I mean, how do you prepare yourself to go up against those guys? And, what are some of the other role players that could possibly pose as a threat in this event?
Yeah, I think the big players, the Olympic champions are both here from London. Nicholas Spirig from Switzerland and Alistair Brownlee from Great Britain. They don't race a lot, so it's the first time they're racing World Series this year. There's also multiple world champion Javier Gomez, which is racing as well, and my training partner Mario Mola, which him and myself have a good ding dong every single time we race. So there's definitely a lot of good players that have come to the table and to Cape Town itself, and it's definitely going to be an interesting dynamic on the day on Sunday and Saturday to see how it unfolds.
Now, the triathlon is seen as one of the minority sports in the country, if I can put it like that. What are some of the challenges that face the sport, as participation numbers actually don't look that bad?
It's definitely it's a sport that's growing, of course, and a lot of corporates, a lot of companies are realizing that it's a healthy and it's a good sport to get into. It's a low impact sport. It doesn't require a lot of training. You can do it in the evenings and in the mornings as well. And so there's a lot of people think it's an elitist sport. That's not the truth. There's a lot of people that can do Ironmans and do all different types of events. So it's definitely within everyone's reach, and it's a growing sport, as I said. And they've also got team events and school events that's taking part in the World Triathlon Series in Cape Town, and it definitely goes to show that it's starting to grow in schools, and for me that's a very big thing.
And how often are these events, and are they enough to sort of develop the upcoming talent in the triathlon?
I think that's a couple of years back everyone started. It was the Energy Triathlon Series events. They were hosted mainly in summer. Unfortunately, the European season and the South African summer season they conflict somewhat. So there's a bit of a conflict there. But it's definitely I hope there are more events are going to come up in Cape Town, and maybe a series that starts to take fold again, because it gives the kids the ability to gain that experience through those races, and then obviously move on to the World Triathlon Series or World Cups internationally. So it's definitely to be able to race against the best and to bring the best that the country has to races, I think is important for the youngsters to gain a bit of exposure in the international field altogether.
Now, Richard, how was the support from the Federation for the events such as the triathlon, and what kind of support can they tighten up on?
I definitely think obviously triathlon is quite a minority sport, as you said. They've started to grow. We got our first, well, not our first, but we got our national kit this afternoon from Triathlon South Africa, and I think the big thing is actually looking like a team, and also working together as a team is a big one. Also another big thing is the National Lottery was helping us for a good couple of years, and I think they're actually going to step up and help us again. So we've got all the talents in the world, and just to be able to hone that together and be able to get that overseas and to actually show the world what we're made of is the big thing. So I definitely think funding and also the experience of experienced coaches coaching the junior and having a program in place is where it needs to start, I think, at the ground roots, and then moving up from there.
Now, you're a Commonwealth medalist, and how has that helped improve your profile and your life just as a sportsman?
It was definitely, I didn't realize the impact it would actually have after the race. There's so many races we take part in every year. To have to shift the focus differently for each one is quite hard. But it's definitely, changed things quite a bit. My biggest performance, the Commonwealth Games, my third position against the Olympic gold and bronze medalist on the day was a great performance for myself. I have though beaten those two athletes before, and I've been racing against them since I was a kid, so there's definitely room for improvement, and there's a couple of other events that don't get as much limelight as say the Commonwealth Games did get, but it goes to show that Triathlon South Africa and also the athletes are very capable of top performances.
Now, in the Triathlon Series, which is the most difficult event and why?
I think it all goes to do with your weaknesses and your strengths on the day, whether you feature more as a swimmer or as a runner. But it's definitely, we have two different disciplines, well, not two different distances. We have a sprint distance, which is about an hour worth of racing, and we have Olympic distance, which is about an hour and 50 to 2 hours of racing. I would say that the Olympic distance is a lot more difficult. We run 10 kilometers there, and it definitely takes a lot more out of the body than a sprint distance event does. But it definitely also goes down to the event itself. Whether here in Cape Town, a lot of the guys are saying the water's very cold, but there's the inevitables we have to go against. So it's definitely you need to be a tough all-round person to be able to make it in the sport.
Now, very quickly, Richard, how can we get on board and support the World Triathlon Series, be it on social media or perhaps a website that we can take a look at?
Yes, they've got they have a live streaming, which is I think it's worldtriathlonlive.org. And there's obviously the World Triathlon Series. There's Twitter handles, WTS_Cape Town, I think, one of those. And then there's a whole bunch. All you need to do is look up ITU Triathlon, and it'll come up with all the information you'll need. There's going to be lots of people tweeting about it. It'll be, it'll be locally broadcasted as well. And so, it's definitely a big spectacle, and it's something that's going to grow, year to year. I think the numbers have already moved up. And, there's a lot of people getting involved. So, it's definitely just a matter of time before it becomes, a mass participation event.
Thank you so much, Richard. Unfortunately, that's where we'll leave it for tonight. That is Richard, and all the best to him for all his sporting endeavors.